Hello Primary 4, this is our grammar lesson, and today we're going to be learning about what is a proper noun, and your success criteria today will be that you'll be able to identify proper nouns and common nouns, and also that you'll be able to give me examples of proper nouns. Okay, so this is a mild, spicy and hot video. And I'll give you some different options as we go through, and at the end of it I'll show you some tasks that you can go on to do. Okay, during the video it's a good idea to pause it if you need a bit more thinking time, or if you need to answer a question or write something down. Okay, so let's get started. What is a noun? So a noun is a naming word, and nouns are used to identify people, places, objects, animals, or ideas. There are several different types of noun, and we most commonly use common nouns. So what is a common noun? Common nouns are the general names for people, places, objects, or animals. So for example, we've got scientist, we have church, candle, gorilla. Proper nouns are different in that they name specific places, objects, or people. So a proper noun should always start with a capital letter. So we've got Sydney, we've got Roald Dahl, and we've got London Eye. So all of these are proper nouns and would need a capital. So at the bottom here as well, we've got months of the year, days of the week, some religious events like Christmas or Diwali, and brand names, things like Kellogg's, are also considered to be proper nouns. So they would all need capitals as well. Okay, here's our first little task today. So you do need a piece of paper and a pencil. So if you haven't got that nearby, pause the video and go and get one, or you can also use a whiteboard and a pen if you have that. Whatever you have, doesn't really matter, but pause the video and get yourself organised with those things just now. Okay, so on this one here, what I'm going to ask you to do, I'm going to give you some different options. If you're choosing to do mild, you just need to say the answer. Okay, so you don't need to write anything down. If you are doing spicy, you might want to try the first 5. And if you want to do hot, you can try all of these. Okay, so it's just some different options for you. So what we've got here is a table with, I'll just get my pointer back up, there it is. We've got common nouns on this side, so these are all common nouns. And over here we've got proper nouns, so these are all our proper nouns. So what we're going to do is try and fill in the blanks in our table. So the first one's been done for us. It's the common noun is a woman, and proper noun is J.K. Rowling, so the author of Harry Potter. I'm sure you all know that. So let's have a look at the next one. So common noun here is country. So you're going to think of a proper noun that is also a country, but this time a specific country. So pause the video if you need to write it down, or if you're doing the mild option, you can say some names of some countries. Okay, let's move on to the next one. The next one, maybe a little bit trickier. We have got a proper noun is Africa, which is not a country. But what is Africa? See if you can think about what it is. You can say it for mild, or you can write it down for spicy or hot. Pause the video if you need to. And that is a continent. Okay, so continent's what you should have in here. So continents will also be proper nouns, Africa. Next one, you'll be better at than me, I think. Cartoon character. So cartoon character could be any cartoon character, that's the common noun. But if you were thinking of a specific one, Can you think of one and say it or write it down? Pause the video if you need to. Okay, you maybe had something like Mickey Mouse in there or SpongeBob, and hopefully you've remembered to write it with a capital letter. Have a check just to make sure you used a capital because it is a proper noun. Okay, let's look at the next one. And so, a famous landmark. So, famous landmark. Can you think of a proper noun? There's loads of famous landmarks in Edinburgh, but you could think of one from anywhere in the world. So pause the video if you need to. Okay, how did you get on with that one? And, oops, I'm just going to change my finger over there. Right, there we go. So the next one we've got is August. So we've got our proper noun of August. What would be the common noun that we could write in here? So pause the video if you need to. If you're on Spicy, you might want just to say these ones. Okay, did you get it? It should be months or month of the year. Our next one, day of the week. Thinking about what the proper noun would be that we could link to that. Pause the video if you need to, or say it out if you're doing mild or spicy. Okay, great. So, day of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever you want, any of the days of the week would be fine there. Next one, common noun, is a city. So can you think of a proper noun? We've already had a city actually earlier on in the slideshow. So can you think of a city? Okay, just check that you remember to put a capital letter on the proper noun, the city that you've chosen there. So maybe you chose Edinburgh or Glasgow or London, lots of different cities you can choose from. And our last one is a restaurant. So we have got a restaurant here. Can you think of a proper noun? Okay, so it would be the name of a restaurant here, so maybe something like La Favorita or something we could put in there. Or any restaurant that you've been to, as long as you have remembered those capital letters on your proper nouns. Have a little check if you've written any down. Did you remember to get your capitals on all of them? I'm sure you did. Okay, let's look at our next slide. So we're going to do a little proper noun hunt now. What I'd like you to do on this, I'm going to read through this letter and you're going to try and spot the missing capital letters for the proper nouns in Mr. Whoop's letter. So if you are doing mild, I'd like you to try and spot 5. Okay? You can try and spot 5. You don't need to write them down, but you can write them down if you want to. If you're doing spicy, I'd like you to find 10 of them. You might want to try writing down some of those. If you're doing hot, I'd like you to try and find all of the missing capital letters. So you're spotting all of the proper nouns. Now this letter goes over 2 pages. So what I'll do is I'll read it through for everyone, and then you can pause the video and you can have a look and see if you can find the missing capital letters. Okay. And then I'll go through it and tell you where they were. So, start with the address, 12 Green Lane, Hoopsville, TX76123. Dear Mr. Williams, I am writing to you to complain about my recent visit to your supermarket Cost Savers on Thursday, January 12, 2017. After a recent vacation in Europe, where I visited Portugal, Spain and Italy, I came to your store to purchase some ingredients to make a Mediterranean meal like the one I had eaten near the Colosseum. Okay, so we'll go on to the next page. While in your fruit and vegetable aisle, I accidentally tripped over a red onion, and two of your shop assistants, whose name badges read Daniel and Julie, proceeded to laugh at me hysterically. They never offered me any help or assistance. I was appalled. I raced outside, got into my car, and went straight home empty-handed. I had to call my local branch of Palace Pizzas to order takeout. I will not be coming back into your shop until I get a full apology. If I don't receive a letter by Wednesday, March 1st, I am even considering writing to the Hoopsville government or the President to express my disgust. Yours sincerely, Mr. Hoops. Okay. So we'll have a little look back, and what I'm going to do is you might want to pause the video while I've got it on the first page, and then I'll put it onto the second page, and you can pause it again just so you're able to see the text. Okay, so you're going to look for 5 missing capital letters from the proper nouns, and that's from both pages, so 5 altogether, not 5 on each page. That's for mild. Spicy, you're looking for 10, and hot, you're going to see if you can find them all. All right, so pause the video now for the first page. And I'm going to go into the second page now. Pause the video now to have a look at the second page. Okay, hopefully you've had time to go through the whole letter, see how many you found. I'm going to go through them now and point them out to you. So we have got Green and Lane is the name of a place. So Green Lane, so the Green and Lane would both need capitals, as would Hoopsville need a capital, and Mr. and Williams would be somebody's name, a person's name, so they would both need capitals. Supermarket doesn't, because it could be any supermarket. But then Mr. Williams goes on to mention a specific supermarket. He talks about cost savers. So this one here should have a capital, as should Thursday, and should January. And then he talks about his recent vacation in Europe. So that's a continent. So Europe would need a capital letter. Where I visited Portugal, another capital. Spain, another one, and Italy. I came to your store to purchase some ingredients to make a Mediterranean meal like the one I had eaten near the Colosseum. Now, I don't think Mediterranean meal needs one. I have checked this, and I don't think that it needs one. If we were talking about the Mediterranean Sea, it definitely would, but I don't think we need one for Mediterranean meal. But the Colosseum will need one. So Colosseum would need a capital because it's the name of a specific land, sort of monument, landmark. Okay, let's look on the next page. I didn't think I saw any in this sentence. Oh yeah, we did. It's quite a long sentence. Whose name badge is red, so we'd need Daniel would need one, and Julie would need a capital. They're both proper nouns. They never offered me any help. I was appalled, so none required there. I had to call in my local branch of Palace Pizzas. So Palace Pizzas is a brand name, so Palace and Pizzas would need capitals. If it was just talking about pizzas on its own, it wouldn't, because it would be a common noun, but this is as talking about a brand, so they would both need capitals. I will not be coming back to your shop till I get a full apology. If I don't receive a letter by Wednesday, so Wednesday would need a capital letter, March would need a capital letter, and Hoopsville would need a capital letter, and I think government, because it's the Hoopsville government that they're talking about, so a specific government, or the president, so president would also need one. And at the bottom again, Mr. and Hoops would both need one. So there's loads to find there, so hopefully you managed to find at least 5, 10, or challenge yourself to find as many as you could. Okay, let's look at the next part. So you're going to try and spot 3 proper nouns hidden behind the numbered squares. And when you think you've got them, you can say them for mild, or also for mild, if you want to, you might want to even just write down the capital letter that they begin with. Write them carefully on your whiteboard or paper with a capital letter for spicy and for hot. And for hot, for an extra challenge, you might want to pause the video at the end and use one of the proper nouns in a sentence. Okay, so let's have a look. There's your first one, second, and third. So pause the video and either say what the 3 proper nouns are, if you know them, or you can write them down if you're doing spicy or hot. Okay, let's have a look at the proper nouns. So let's got them back on. Sorry, there we go. We've got America with a capital. Statue of Liberty. Of doesn't need a capital, just statue and liberty. And February. So again, if you're hot, you might want to go on and have a go at writing a sentence using one of these proper nouns. Okay, and if you are doing that, just pause the video until you've finished it. Okay, can you spot the 3 proper nouns hidden below? So same again. Now, sometimes this, let's see if it's going to work. Yeah, it's done the same again. It's coming up and it's telling you them. So we'll just have a look at them. So we've got Christmas. Oh, there we go. That one's worked this time. So they all begin with the same letter. So giving you a clue then that they all begin with the letter C. Okay, have you had a go? Pause the video if you need to write them down. But if not, here are the answers. We've got Cinderella and we have got China. And if you want to, you can try and use one of these proper nouns in a sentence. Okay, let's have a look on now to the next task. So what you're going to do is try and shout out a proper noun for each letter of the alphabet before you run out of time. So the letters will turn up on the blue rectangle at the bottom. So it could be a person's name, country, landmark, city or town, month or day, event or brand name. So if you're doing mild, you can choose from any of those things. If you want to make it a bit more challenging for yourself, try and limit it maybe to, say, person's name and country, or maybe just 2 of the categories, not just month and day though, because you'll really struggle there aren't enough words that you can use. So, but if you want to try and make it a bit more challenging, a bit more fun, you could maybe just say, right, I'm going to try for countries, or just try for landmarks, whatever you want to. Do not worry if you can't get them all. This is just for a bit of fun. And this is thinking back, linking it right back to our success criteria. You're able now to identify proper nouns. So this is what we're working on here. Okay. Some of the letters I'll give you a bit longer there for than others, but no pausing the video for this part. Okay. Off we go. So A. B. C. D. E. F. G. H. I. J. K. L, M, N, O, P, Q, give you a bit longer for Q, R, S, T. The next few are quite tricky, so do your best. U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Some of those were really, really tough. Okay, hope you got on well with that. So you should be quite good now at identifying your proper nouns. Okay, oops, and we're gonna leave the last part of that for another week. So what I'm going to show you now is some tasks that you can go on to do. So you can either print these tasks off or you can talk through them. It's up to you. Okay, so let's have a look at the tasks here. And I'm just going to open up this one here. Right. So we can just go back on this one here. Okay, we'll get that one in a second. So this here is the spicy hot task, and I'll get the mild task back up in a moment. So for the spicy hot task on here, what I'm going to get you to do is sort these cards into two sets of common nouns and proper nouns. So you should have two groups altogether. The proper nouns have deliberately been spelled using lowercase letters to make the task a bit trickier. So if they had just put them all in uppercase, it would be so easy to work out the answer. So it's really to get you thinking. What you could do is you could write above them what where the capital letters should go. For example, in this Roald Dahl one here, you could do a capital R and a capital D at the top. So it's up to you. You can write these words out onto paper, or you could cut them out if you wanted to. Okay, print them out. So it's whatever's easy for you. So there's lots of them on there, and so for a hot challenge, you could take some of these and write some sentences using them. Don't forget your capital letters. A game that you can play with these once you're finished, if you have cut them out or if you've written them on paper, is to turn all the cards face down on your table, and you can play a matching pairs game with a partner. So can you choose two common nouns or two proper nouns? You get to keep the cards. Now, it's not a snap game, so you're not going to be looking for two Roald Dahls, but you might look for, say, a Roald Dahl, and you can do a Roald Dahl, and then you can match it up, say, with Lego, would be another one that would get a capital letter. So that would be a pair that you could take out. Okay? So good luck with that, and I'll show the mild task next.